Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel, where I'm breaking down all the games of Wild Card Weekend here in the NFL. So be sure to subscribe to my page to get all of my sports talk videos delivered directly to your inbox. Up next, the Minnesota Vikings will travel to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Obviously, the location of this game is flipped, but this is a rematch of Week 17 when the Minnesota Vikings, playing for their playoff lives, defeated the Packers to run their record to 10-6. Green Bay, winners of the NFC North, finished with a record of 11-5. That game did cost Green Bay an opportunity at a bye. So we're here and we have a rematch of the Week 17 game here from what should be a pretty cold Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Vikings, obviously the story of the Vikings season has been the play of Adrian Peterson. He had just a shade under 200 yards last week versus the Packers. He had a big game the first meeting against the Packers as well. So I look for Adrian Peterson to continue that, to have a good game. I don't know if he'll have a 200-yard game. You know, the thing that's tough with Peterson is it's tough to predict someone's going to have a 200-yard game. But he's had them, or close to had them, so many times this season that, you know, it's almost becoming the norm. But for Minnesota, I think a lot of this game comes down to their ability to stop the pass. And I think you have to monitor the Antoine Winfield injury. Okay, he's had a very good season for Minnesota, a season that I don't think their fans expected from him. And he left the game last Sunday banged up. Monitor his injury status throughout the week, because you have a Minnesota secondary that even when Winfield was healthy couldn't stop the Packers. How do they react with him out of the lineup? Do other guys come step up in his place? Definitely something to be concerned about. Also, with Minnesota, a road playoff game in cold weather outside. It's gonna Christian Ponder, just like he did yesterday. He made some very good plays. He threw 3 touchdown passes. Didn't turn the ball over, which is the big thing. Okay, he's gonna need to make some plays on the road against Green Bay, against Aaron Rodgers in a big spot here. Can he do that? That's gonna be a big determining factor in my mind whether they can win this game. The health of Antoine Winfield, and its overall effect on the secondary, and then Christian Ponder making throws in big spots. I can't worry too much about Adrian Peterson. The guy is, and I mean this in a very, in a very complimentary way. The guy is a freak. Okay, what he's done this year has been truly remarkable. I think he should be NFL MVP. Okay, but Green Bay is obviously going to put Ponder in a situation where he has to beat them. I think what helped Minnesota in the game last week was the fact that they got out to an early lead. I think for them to even have a chance, they need to be playing either tied or from in front in this game. For them to fall behind early, let's say 10, 14 points, and put all that pressure on Ponder to make throws, I think this game could get ugly early. As far as Green Bay goes, Green Bay, look, offensively, they were strong yesterday. I mean, Rodgers threw for 365 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think we're seeing Greg Jennings round into shape after he's been hurt most of the year. And look, with this offensive arsenal that they have, I think the team that's going to beat them in the playoffs is going to be a team that has a strong offense. And because I think their defense, although their defense is not great, all right, they are opportunistic. And I think if they can make a team one-dimensional, they become a lot better. So I think all defenses play good with a lead, but I think teams like Green Bay, New England, they're built to play with a lead because, going into the offseason when you're planning, you plan, okay, we have the stud quarterback. We're probably going to be ahead a lot. Let's fill our defense with stout pass rushers, with guys who can make plays in the secondary, and really be opportunistic and take advantage of other teams' mistakes when they're pressing and playing from behind. And I think you're seeing Green Bay's defense get healthier. They haven't clicked by any means. If there's one concern I have with Green Bay, it's obviously their rushing defense and the success Adrian Peterson has had against it already this season. I mean, I'd be a fool to sit here and say that I'm not concerned about that. But again, the big things for me are the play of Christian Ponder and the Minnesota secondary without Antoine Winfield if he can't go. And with that said, the Green Bay is an 8-point favorite at home. I see a lot of sentiment going towards the Vikings at this spread. pretty much 80-20 for the Vikings at this point. I like Green Bay actually, minus the 8 at home in the wild card round against the Vikings. Definitely right now, what would qualify as a contrarian play. But I just like Green Bay to not lose at home 2 times in a row, 2 years in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely clicking right now, and I think that'll get lost in all the Adrian Peterson news this week. They're running the ball better in recent weeks. I know 14 carries for 70 yards for Ryan Grant doesn't jump off the screen, but when you figure they were down early, I think they'll make even more of a commitment to the run when they need to. You know, when push comes to shove, they're going to put the ball in the air. But so I like Green Bay for all the reasons I mentioned, minus 8 at home to beat Minnesota and to set up a very good matchup on the road in the divisional round against the 49ers. So Green Bay minus 8. Be sure to check out my other previews here. And as always, subscribe to my page to get all of my videos delivered to you. And hey, thanks as always for listening, and have a good New Year's Eve.